Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shannon and I post videos mainly on mental health, specifically borderline personality disorder. I have been posting makeup too, so if you're interested in that, then please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. So you may have gathered by now from my last couple of videos that I like to do research, read things that annoy me, and then post a video about it, telling you why it is wrong. Today we're doing relationships. Now that can be partner, family member, friend. These opinions are my own, obviously, and as always, I encourage you to do your own research before making a solid opinion. So it's gonna kind of be like my perspective of a relationship and how things are on my end, and kind of give people who don't have BPD some tips on what not to do, because let's just say I've had a few people in the past do these things I'm going to tell you not to do, and it's not good. It's not helpful at all. It benefits absolutely no one and usually results in someone crying. So if you're going to do any of these things, don't. And if you're already doing these things, stop it, because it's just it's not good for anyone. So as you may know, or if you don't know, you're going to hear it now, there is a lot of stigma surrounding borderline personality disorder. To be honest, any personality disorder, mental health in general, gets a lot of shit and it's unnecessary. But BPD seems to be one that keeps occurring in my research, which bothers me, because the stuff I'm reading, like, obviously, like, it's not true. Like, it's just very angry people adding to the fire rather than trying to put the fire out. One I read this morning was that people with BPD can't be in relationships. I think I mentioned this in my last video too. Yeah, we are aggressive, explosive, the devil, absolutely incapable of feeling love whatsoever, and apparently you feel like you're walking on eggshells when you're with someone with BPD, and I'm here to just tell you that that's not true. Like, 100% not true, in my opinion. Yes, we can... Okay, so I'm speaking for me here, even though I'm saying we, I'm speaking for me, not everyone. Everyone deals with things differently, everyone perceives mental health differently. You get the gist. So I tend to snap if I have a mood swing and it goes like rock bottom. I will either snap and say things I don't mean, which I obviously regret within like 5 minutes, or I just won't speak at all. My advice is that if someone with BPD is snapping at you or says things that you probably know deep down they don't mean, give them time. With people who come into my life, I am straight up honest with them. I'm like, look, like, this is what's going on. If this happens, go for a walk, go for a bath if I happen to be living with them. Take some time away from me and give me time to reflect and realise that what I said I didn't mean, and that, like, I need to apologise for it. Because although I don't mean it, like, it's still uncalled for. Like, it's not needed and it hurts the other person. Which brings me to my next point. if you're going to be with someone who has BPD and like you know that they've got it, please, for the love of God, please don't argue with them when it's quite painfully obvious that it's like, so say like 1 minute we're laughing and joking and, you know, we're having a nice time, and then suddenly we just go dip and I'm just not in the mood anymore and I seem like frustrated and not really with it. Don't immediately think that you've done something wrong and like, okay, so I know this is easier said than done, but you know, like you have to work together. But that isn't an opportunity for you to start arguing with your partner. In my opinion, that is a sign that, okay, so we had focus on the good, right? Like focus on the good. You had that fun little bit there, and then okay, so my mood's dipped. It's not great. Obviously, I would rather keep having fun, but it's not something that is in my control. And I've had several people use that as an opportunity to argue and to cause fights, and it's just absolutely not necessary. Like, go make a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you drink. Go for a walk. If you've got kids, go and play with your kids. Or dogs. Dogs are probably preferred. Yeah, like just don't argue with them. It's not gonna help. If anything, you're gonna make it worse. They're gonna say shit they don't mean. This is coming from me personally. And 9 times out of 10, they're probably gonna end up breaking up with you just to end the situation. My last partner and I broke up so many times that I lost count. Because if I didn't want to speak, it would be, well, why don't you want to speak to me? And he'd keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and I'm like, right, like, fuck you, I'm done. Like, keep pushing. The more you push, the angrier they're gonna get, the worse things are gonna be. Like, honestly, for your sake and theirs, walk away. This makes me think of Moss from the IT crowd. If I can, I'll put a little...
I'll just walk away.
I know it's hard. And this is why I say you should have some kind of professional involved. Because it's a lot for us, and I can only imagine what it's like for somebody else to deal with too. Like it's a lot to take on. Sometimes we say things we don't mean, and it can be hurtful, and having somebody there who can help you deal with this, you know, goes hand in hand. Things will be happy. Spot on. So the next thing is that I want to talk about is impulses. Now, in my opinion, there's good and there's bad, like everything in this life. There's good impulses and there's bad impulses. You need to know when to kind of step in and pull on the reins a bit and be like, right, come on, like, calm down. So I've got 3 good impulses, in my opinion, and 3 bad impulses. I've been guilty of all of them, more specifically the bad ones, but you know, with becoming self-aware, and you know, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. Like, I got diagnosed 2 years ago and I'm still nowhere near being normal. But we'll start with the good ones. So with impulses, they're either going to be good or bad, basically. Like, so I don't know, maybe suggest going on a road trip. Like, you know what, let's pack our things, let's go away for the weekend, let's just do it, let's go. That is a good impulse, in my opinion. Like, as long as you've not got work or anything, and like, you know, you're free to do so, you have no responsibilities, go for it. it'll probably be good for both of you. The second one is treating themselves. Now, this comes with limits, because then if it's not watched carefully, it could go into impulsive spending and they end up with like no money left, and it's just, but I don't know, say they wanted a t-shirt that they've wanted for ages, and finally they're like, you know what, I'm going to do it, I'm going to buy it. That's fine. Like, leave them to buy that t-shirt or whatever it is they're buying. Just don't let them know that you're keeping an eye on them, but like, just watch what they're doing. If you notice it's starting to get a bit too much, then you need to be like, look, like, why don't we save our money for something else? And another one, I don't know, like dyeing your hair. I know a lot of people have done this through lockdown, experimenting with your hair and stuff. You know, I've had black hair for 3 to 4 years now, and one day I was just like fuck it, like bleach my roots, dye them bright green. I think it lasted maybe 2 weeks, and then I dyed it back black again. So yeah, those are all like spontaneous impulses, like good things. Like, it's they're not hurting anyone. They're not going to hurt you, they're not going to hurt themselves or anyone around them, and they're not going to be in a serious amount of debt from doing it. Which brings me on to the bad impulses. So again, I've been unfortunately quite experienced in this, especially from November onwards. So the first one is heavy drinking. Of course, if they want to have a drink, like, let them have a drink. I'm not saying that you have to like completely control their lives, but if it's getting to a point where it seems like they can't deal with things without drinking, or it's like every week and then it becomes to every couple of days to every day, like, that's when you kind of need to be like, look, okay, like, we need to go and see someone and talk about why this is happening, because people with BPD have unhealthy coping mechanisms. The day I get that right will be an absolute miracle. But so the way Bob would cope with something who doesn't have BPD is completely different to someone who has BPD. So Bob would maybe, I don't know, have a little bit of a cry about it, pick himself up, and he's ready to go. Whereas Fred over here will turn to drinking, any kind of other like bad impulse, like gambling. That's my second point. You know, kind of, they're more likely to do things that are going to put themselves or other people in danger, and that is when you kind of need to step in and be like, look, like, we need to get you help, like, it's going to be okay, but this has to stop. So gambling money can be, it kind of goes in with like impulsive spending, like way too much. I went through that was it last year? I think so. I lost £800 in 4 months. That's £200 a month on gambling, and I didn't get the money back. They couldn't do anything about it. Like, I willingly spent it. So, but that's a whole other story that I might do a video about one day. Basically, the bank are fucking useless. But yeah, so gambling money, impulsive spending. You kind of need to sit down with your partner, work out what is an acceptable amount for them to go to. Like I said, like, you don't want to control their lives, but at the same time, like, you need to make sure that they're not putting themselves in debt, because nobody wants to be in debt. Like, it's kind of just obvious. And the last one is flitting between people. So one night stands, I mean, like, if they want to have a one night stand, like, let them have a one night stand. But if it becomes like repetitive behavior, then I would say that that's kind of like a warning to kind of like pull them to the side. Jumping from relationship to relationship. Again, another one that I unfortunately have quite a bit of experience in. And that, obviously, this goes for like someone that you're not in a relationship with, like partner wise, because if you're in a relationship with someone and they're flitting from people to people, you need to leave them. Like, that's cheating. I wish my throat would stop. So my next point is, so supposedly we're incapable of loving people. Again, I've mentioned this in my last video. From personal experience, if this is big if I genuinely feel like I love someone, then you absolutely have like everything in me. Like I will love you to death. Like, my children, I've never known love like it. I want to do a video on BPD versus parenting, and obviously my experience with it, and now, like, the outcome now. And relationships, like, if you can get past the initial intense, like, insane part of it, and you spend time and you get to know them and you learn to love them, even if they might be a moody bitch 6 days out of 7, like, it's really important to take time to get to know people. And if someone's trying to push things and make it a lot faster than you're comfortable with, then that's a huge flag to just, huge big red flag to just be like, nope, like, I'm not into this. Someone with BPD, I would be very cautious with how fast it's going, because, as I said, with BPD, it's like known for us to have like intense short relationships. So if, like, so speaking from experience, having someone who listens and who genuinely wants to take care of me and won't use my illness against me, it doesn't sound real. Like, it just doesn't. Of course, I'm no saint. I've been an absolute arse in the past, but I was sick and I didn't know I was sick. Of course, it doesn't excuse everything that has happened in the past, but, you know, like, I just want a simple life. Like, people make out the people with BPD are like these wild, aggressive people, and all I want is to go to work, come home, be with someone who I love the shit out of, have my kids, probably a dog, because who doesn't want a dog? And then I just go to bed like happy. Like, that's all I want, is a simple life. And a lot of the time we are put down as these crazy, aggressive people. And don't get me wrong, you do get some people out there that are a bit, you know, like, you need to keep away from. But the stigma surrounding BPD, for the most part, is not needed. Like I said, we are sick people who need help. There is not enough help out there, and it genuinely breaks my heart. Like, if I could help everyone, I would. It's kind of why I make these videos, in hopes that maybe someone will see it and it'll help. But yes. A quick note to people with BPD who are getting into relationships. Think about what you're doing, first of all. Like, please just think about it. BPD is an arse to deal with. It's horrible. And you need to be careful who you let into your life. Because we like to be brutally honest and share our trauma, but the wrong person will use that against you and take literally everything from you, including children. So please be careful with who you let into your life. It kind of goes the same with any mental health issue, really. Keep your guard up until they give you reason not to, because you have no idea who you're letting into your life. You have no idea what they could do with the knowledge that you give them. So that's it for this video. Bit of a deep one, I think, but I enjoyed making it nonetheless. I did film this makeup look, but I think I hate it, like the way I filmed it. So it may be uploaded, it may not. If not, then I'll try and do it one day. This t-shirt is from Skulls and Stuff. I will leave the link in the description down below. It's my friend Rob's brand. He donated over $1,000, I think it was, to the Bail Project. And yeah, I think there's only like 8 or 9 left. So if you want one, grab one while you can. And hopefully I will see you in my next video.